Can I get every achievement in Batman Arkham Asylum? In this video, I'll be playing through Batman Arkham Asylum, attempting to 100% it and get every single achievement in the game. This game was released in 2009 by Rocksteady. This game follows Batman after there's been a prison break at Arkham Asylum that has been created by the Joker. Batman has to try and capture the Joker and defeat all of his enemies along the way. So enjoy the video, and if you do, please like and subscribe, and if you have any recommendations on how to improve these, or any other games I should attempt, please put that in the comments as well. Now, let's get into this. We start the game transporting the Joker into Arkham Asylum after we've recently just captured him. Everything seemed a bit too easy though, and Batman's wary that the Joker might have something up his sleeve. As expected, as soon as we get him into the asylum, he breaks loose and starts to cause chaos by releasing inmates. Batman goes to chase, and we come across our first enemies of the game. In this scrap, we managed to get a combo up to 5, giving us the achievement Free Flow Combo 5. The combat in this game is easily one of the best parts, and you'll find yourself just having hours of fun just beating up many thugs and enemies. In the same room, more thugs come out, and I managed to get the achievement Free Flow Combo 10, which is just for getting a 10 combo. Both of these achievements so far you'll pick up very early into the game and quite easily. After taking out all of the thugs in that first room, we now chase after the Joker. On the way to him, we get called over by some guards who tell us that an inmate has been taken hostage by one of Batman's nemesises. It turns out to be Victor Zsasz, who has the inmate in the electric chair. After sneaking up behind him and taking him down, we get the achievement Shocking Rescue. Continuing along, we then get to another room that has been filled with Joker toxin. Obviously, as is the Joker, this is very poisonous and can kill anyone in that room. This is where we come across the first missable achievement in the game. The achievement is Leave No Man Behind. To get this achievement, you just have to save the 3 people in this room. It's relatively easy, you just have to jump from place to place, get into them as quickly as possible, and then pulling them up. I'm not sure you could really argue that the last person really got rescued in the way that Batman dealt with him. We finally catch up with the Joker, who's getting deeper and deeper into Arkham Asylum, causing more and more chaos. In this chaos, Joker has managed to get his hands on Titan. Titan is what Bane uses to become big and scary. He has started to use this on his goons, and we come across the first of these here. Fortunately, it's not really been tested, so if you just give him a little bit of time, eventually he'll die. Once this happens, you'll get the achievement Malpractice Needs More Practice. Another key component of this game are the Predator sections. These usually include about 4 or 5 thugs occupying a certain area, and you have to take them out one by one. Most of the time they'll have guns, so you can't just sort of go in and beat them up like you would in the rest of the game, but it does add some cool elements to this. At this point, gargoyles are your best friend, and you can use them to swing around the room undetected. One ability that you can unlock of Batman's is an inverted takedown, where you swoop down, pick up the enemy, and then hang them from one of the gargoyles. After this, you can then throw a batarang at it, cutting the enemy down. If you manage to time this well and make the enemy land on top of a thug, you'll get the achievement Rope-a-Dope Rope. As most games these days, this game has a lot of collectibles. This then multiplies as the games go on. These collectibles are riddles, Riddler trophies, and then sort of visual puzzles that you have to complete throughout the game. Some of these can just be found nice and easy, but some of them are a lot more difficult. There are also quite a few achievements tied to these, so I'll be pointing these out as I go. The first of these was Arkham Analyst, and this is to get 5% of all the Riddler trophies.
Don't get too full of yourself, Dark Knight.
Continuing through the story, chasing after the Joker, we then finally make it outside. When this happens, we get the achievement Born Free. Now that we're outside in a new area, it gives us a perfect opportunity to collect a load more of the Riddler challenges. After exploring this and doing more riddles and Riddler trophies, we get the achievement Cryptic Investigator, and this is for getting 10% of all the riddles in the game.
So the great detective is
As we're outside, it now gives us the perfect opportunity to get an achievement called Night Glider. To get this achievement, you have to glide over 100 meters. To be honest, I'm not sure there's many other areas of the map that you can actually get this, so if you're ever in this location, I'd definitely recommend getting this one here. The third and final sort of miscellaneous achievement that we can collect whilst outside is Catch. For this, you'll have to level up a few times and unlock the remote control batarang. If you then launch it off into the distance, turn it back around, and then fly it back towards yourself to catch it. This can definitely be done inside, but I found it much easier outside when there's no real obstructions in the way. The thugs have continued to escape and take over more areas of the island. This means, as we're chasing Joker across the island, we're coming across more and more. With this being the case, it's easier to get higher and higher combos. This therefore means we're able to get the next achievement, Free Flow Combo 20, relatively easy, as getting a 20 combo was pretty straightforward when there's that many enemies about. As we now enter the medical centre, again this gives us more opportunities to complete more riddle challenges. After running around collecting more Riddler trophies and doing more riddles, we get the achievement Lateral Thinker for getting 25% of all of the riddles completed. Just to mention, not all of the riddles and Riddler trophies are available at this point because we haven't unlocked all of Batman's gadgets, so there will be a point at the end to run around and collect the last few.
What do you call someone who has failed to solve?
For some reason, in the medical centre, the Joker has decided to take a bunch of their doctors hostage. As is Batman's job, usually it's his time to go and rescue each individual one. Once you go to the different areas of the medical centre and rescue 3 of the hostages, you'll then get the achievement, Just What the Doctors Ordered. One of the cooler missions in this game are the Scarecrow missions. In these, Scarecrow has infected Batman with the fear toxin and you have to break out of it. It sort of acts as like a little puzzle game where you have to avoid Scarecrow's vision and make your way to the top to shine the bat signal at him, breaking the sort of haze that you're in. Once you do this for the first time, you'll get the achievement Daydreamer. In the medical centre, we start to work out that the Joker is taking the Titan serum and using it for something himself. Obviously, then this leads us towards Bane. He is bloody massive, and of course, it means that we've got to fight him. This fight is really actually quite tricky, especially if you're playing on hard difficulty, as you're fighting against many other thugs and random enemies, as well as trying to keep your eye on him. After a long and difficult fight, you'll get the achievement Baneful Payback. After beating Bane, we work out that the Joker has taken the head doctor back to the Arkham Mansion. Again, at this point, we're still really not sure what he wants with her and what his master plan is at the end of the day. On our way to the Arkham Mansion, we work out that it's very heavily guarded and it's not as easy to get in as we first thought. After sneaking onto the roof and making our way through sort of a soft wall, we'll get the achievement Breaking and Entering. Again, as before, as we've entered a new area, it gives us a great opportunity to get more riddles and Riddler trophies done. This then gets us the next achievement, Mystery Solver, which is for getting 40% of all the riddle-related stuff.
You are beginning to impress me, Batman. You may still...
Batman really isn't having a lot of luck this night and has another run-in with the Scarecrow. This one is very similar to the first one, but a little bit more tricky and a few other little elements that have been added into it. Again, once you get to the top and use the bat signal, you'll beat him and break out the haze that you're in. Once you do this, you'll get the achievement Reoccurring Nightmare. Finally tracked down the Doctor, but what a surprise, she's also being held hostage. And this time it's our good friend Victor Zsasz again. This time, instead of getting behind him, we just use a trusty old Batarang to take him out. After you do this, you get the achievement Zsasz Cut Down to Size. In all of this crazy mayhem, somehow Harley Quinn has stolen some very important information about Titan. It's now time to track her down and work out where she's taken this information to and hopefully stop her from getting it to the Joker for whatever reason he needs it. Unfortunately, she's already done this, so we have to go up against her herself. After beating her and a room full of thugs, we get her trapped in a cell and get the achievement Solitary Confinement. Riddler update, and now we've reached 55% of all the riddles completed. For this, we'll get the achievement Conundrum Cracker and be ever so closer to 100% in this aspect of the game. Joker is continuing to test Titan on his goons, and it seems to be working better and better. Unfortunately, this means we have to take on 2 at the same time. At this point, I decided to go after the achievement Mano a Mano. In this achievement, you have to take down a Titaned thug without using a Batarang. The Batarang is the easiest way to take down one of these thugs because you throw it when they run and then it sort of stuns them. The reason this is a good opportunity to do it is because you can sort of bait the other Titan into it, stunning them, and then get off the hits that you would if as using the Batarang. This can be done at a later point, but I thought this was a good opportunity. Once you take out that first one, you're then free to use the Batarang on the second one, as you're no longer after that achievement. Once you do this, you'll then get the achievement Double Trouble for taking out both of these Titans. Next Riddler update, and now I'm at 70%. Now I'm at 70%, I got the achievement Mental Athlete. At this point, the riddles started to become a bit easier as you know what you're looking for, and Riddler trophies are sort of easy to locate. You can also locate secrets maps that are scattered around the islands that will give you vague direction to where these secrets are.
I don't believe it. How did you work that one out?
Next up, we encounter Scarecrow for the 3rd and final time. In this encounter, it probably contains one of my favourite moments in gaming ever. I remember being 10 years old when this first came out and being incredibly shook when it happened and very confused, and maybe add Scared to that list of things. This one is very similar to the previous Scarecrow elements, but involves a bit more combat, and once you complete it, you'll get the achievement Resist the Fear.
Fight it, Batman. You're as crazy as the
After all these previous encounters, it becomes very clear to us that we need to develop an anti-Titan formula. For some reason, the only area of Arkham Asylum that has the ingredients for this formula is the sewers. Unfortunately, this is where Killer Croc has decided to reside after the prison break. After a lot of cat and mouse, we're finally able to escape from Killer Croc and get the achievement Crocodile Tears. Again, this is a great, memorable mission, and there's just more and more of these. We now find ourselves in a very small room with an elevator. Unfortunately, what keeps coming out of that elevator are goons, thugs, and then a Titan. This is definitely one of the most tricky parts of the game that I had, as it's just relentless, and if you aren't paying too much attention, you'll easily take a lot of damage and die. This is especially the case when playing on hard. However this is the case, it does then give you a perfect opportunity to get the achievement Freak Show Rodeo. To get this achievement, you have to beat a Titan down to the point where you can get on his back, and then ride him into 5 thugs. Once you do this, you'll unlock the achievement. We're getting ever so closer to completing every single riddle on the island. Now that we've reached 85%, we get the achievement Riddle Resolver, and we're only left with a few more to complete the bunch. Whilst all of this exploring and hunting down the Joker has been going on, Poison Ivy's plants are slowly taking over the entire of the island. It gets to a point where it's too much and Batman is struggling to get around and get to the places he needs to be, as it's just destroying too much. This means that we have to pay Poison Ivy a visit. I would say this is probably the most difficult boss fight of the entire game, just because it's so relentless, and if you aren't paying attention you can take damage very quickly. It definitely took me a few attempts, and at some points I thought I wouldn't actually be able to do it. After a few attempts, as I mentioned, I was finally able to get it done and got the achievement Poisoned Ivy. At this point in the story, Batman has unlocked every single one of the gadgets that you can get in this game. This means that you're able to go around and collect all of the final riddle challenges that are scattered across the island that remain. After you do this, you'll then locate where the Riddler's been hiding out in Gotham and send the police to his front door. Alongside this, you'll get the achievement Crack the Enigma.
You did it! You must...
I forgot to mention that alongside riddles, there is another collectible. These are Chronicles of Arkham. These are like slabs of stone that you'll find scattered around, and you have to scan, and it'll give you an audio message about the Chronicles of Arkham Asylum. After you manage to collect all of these, you'll then get the achievement World's Greatest Detective. This now means that every single one of the collectibles in this game are done, and we can concentrate on finishing the story and rounding up a final few achievements.
My name is Quincy.
Now that the island is as controlled as possible, it's now time to take on the Joker one-on-one. As you rock up to where he's located, you can see that he set up a little sort of parade to welcome you into the area that he's chilling. You don't actually have to fight any of these thugs, and you can just walk through and go through the door, but this will mean that you'll miss the second missable achievement in the game and have to replay the entire story back to this point. Instead, if you go around and beat every single one of these up, you'll get the achievement Party Pooper. We finally get to face Joker one-on-one at the top of Arkham Asylum. This is what he wants because the news cameras are showing, and it's his perfect opportunity to finally take down the Batman in front of everyone to see. We also now figure out that Joker's plan was to use Titan on as many people as possible and create a Titan army. This doesn't quite work as Batman foils him, but instead he decides to use Titan on himself. After a bit of a scrap with him and his goons, you finally get the better hand of him and defeat him once and for all. This finishes the game and will unlock you achievements based on the difficulty that you played it at. I played it at hard, meaning that I got with 3, which were Big Bang, Bigger Bang, and Biggest Bang. Now that we'd finished the main story and all of the riddles, it's time to move on to the challenges. To begin with, they start relatively easy, but they do get very, very difficult, and I can understand why this is where people give up on trying to get all of the trophies. They're split into 2 types, one of them being combat and the other being predator. In the combat ones, you have to reach a certain score by getting combos and like different variations of moves, and if you avoid being hit, you get extra points. For predator challenges, you just have to complete 3 individual challenges within the main challenge to get 3 stars. The final achievements in this batch is to get 3 stars on every single one of these, so you just have to grind them until you get them. In this first combat challenge, I managed to get the achievement Flawless Free Flow Fighter, which is for completing a challenge without taking any damage. This is really what you've got to be aiming for on most of these challenges.
Get too cocky, Batman!
As getting these achievements for the challenges are all very much similar because you just have to complete each of these at 3 stars. I'm not going to show you every single one because it'd get really boring to watch. However, completing these challenges, I managed to get a combat related achievement, which was Free Flow Combo 40, which was for reaching a combo of 40. This was easier to get in the challenges because whereas I was playing hard in the story, I wasn't getting the little detector when an enemy was about to hit, or so I could counter properly, whereas in the challenges it does come up. As I mentioned, I'm not going to show every single achievement for these challenges because there's a few and they all just basically consist of getting a certain amount of medals per challenge. However, when you're able to get every single medal in all of the Predator challenges, you will get the achievement Predator Gold. There are 24 that you need to get, and I found them much easier to get than the combat ones because you can come up with a sort of strategy to line up the enemies and then do the challenges pretty easily. It was now time to finish off the combat challenges and get the remaining final achievements I needed to 100% this game.
I was just softening you up.
Now that I'd completed all of the Predator medals, it was time to go back into a Predator challenge and complete it without getting detected and only using silent takedowns. This is pretty easy to do for the first Predator challenge, but it does mean that you don't get any of the medals, so you probably will have to do it twice just to get back and do it again. Once you get this, you'll get the achievement Invisible Predator, and now you can fully move on to the remaining few achievements. The final two combat challenges are very, very hard. You basically have to do them perfectly without taking any damage or losing any combos to maximise the amount of points that you get. Another great way to get these points is to have a variation of attacks throughout. If you manage to use every single one of Batman's attacks in this, you'll maximise the amount of points you get, and it does make the challenge a little bit easier. In doing this too, you'll also get the achievement Free Flow Perfection. As I mentioned, these final two combat challenges are very, very difficult. Shock and awe, you basically have to try and get all the enemies defeated in a very short amount of time, whilst making sure that your combo is perfect and you don't take any damage. And then Rumble in the Jungle Extreme, there's just so many enemies, and the Titans included, which again, just make it so much harder. Somehow, after ages of just grinding and trying and just trying different techniques and methods, I was finally able to complete both of these, and it got me the achievement Free Flow Gold. Alongside this was the last achievement in the game, and I got the achievement I Am Batman for getting every single achievement in the game and 100%ing it. As I mentioned, I played this game when it first came out about 15 years ago, and I loved it then, and I have to say, I still love it. The story's amazing, the gameplay's great, the combat is still some of the best you get, and they only improve it as the games go on. The riddles can be a bit tedious, but I actually quite enjoyed them, because some of them are quite puzzling, and they're fun to do, and there isn't too many. I'm now playing Arkham City, and I'm not so sure I agree with that, because there are a lot more. The voice performances in this are also amazing, so if you care for that sort of thing, I honestly recommend it. But I imagine most people have played this game, and if you haven't somehow, I don't get it. Just download the collection that you can get, because it's only a couple of quid now. Next up, I'm planning on completing the other two Arkham games from this collection, but they're going to take a little bit longer just due to the scale that they've managed to do on those two. If you've managed to make it this far in the video, I really appreciate the support, and if you can like and subscribe if you haven't already, I'd really appreciate that, and any comments on recommendations on how to improve these videos will again be very much appreciated. So thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one.